Hi, I'm Richard X, otherwise known as Richard Davidson. This is the third video in the series Spaceship mini project, Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. This is Phase 3, and this is all about building missiles and to fire it from the ship. And this is on the mini project Spaceship, if you didn't already know. So let's look at the first step, as always. Add a shoot method to your ship class. Now, no, this won't help at all if you don't have a working spaceship and a rock. Well, you don't actually need the rock, just this working spaceship. So, add a shoot method to your ship class. This should spawn a new missile. For now, just replace the old missile in a missile. The missile's initial position should be the tip of your ship's gun. Its velocity should be the sum of the ship's velocity and a multiple of the ship's forward vector. A multiple of the ship's forward vector. Okay, so that's basically, the ship's forward vector is just, I'll give you the function. Angle to vector and with underscores between it, and you probably know this function already. Self.angle, and that's going to give you the forward vector. Now 0 is going to be good for the ship's velocity for x coordinates, and forward vector 1 is going to be good for the ship's velocity 1. So what I did is create 3 methods inside the sprite class, not the ship class, but the sprite class. What I did is called change velocity, change position, and change the angle. And the angle. So what it's going to do is just, I'm going to use that in the shoot method to change the 3 things. First of all, the position is going to be from the ship's gun. And this, I have to admit, was the most frustrating thing in my programming experience. And that's not to say a lot, though, because I've only started programming. Before I get to the tip of my ship's gun thing, let's go to the velocity. The velocity is actually going to equal, like I said, should be the sum, so that means add something. The ship's velocity, so I already told you, velocity 0 and velocity 1, plus the forward vector 0 and 1. And each one, it's going to be a list of ship's velocity 0, adding to the multiple forward vector 0, and likewise for 1. Okay, so that's the velocity. And for the angle, I just made it self.angle so it can shoot in the right direction of the spaceship. So let's go on to the position now. So basically what I did is I went into the forums, okay? And I'm not going to show it to you actually because that would take too long, but I saw 2 forums. One of them, it says how to shoot from the tip of the gun instead of from the middle. And Professor Warren said, okay, use the combination of a multiple of the ship's forward vector and the ship's position. So I tried that, and I didn't find it out. Eventually, as I was coming home from school, I found it on my head, and although I thought it wouldn't work, it did work. Then, after I already found it out, I saw another thread, and it said, the answer was to that same question was use a combination of a multiple of the ship's forward vector and the radius. So if you combine those two and click in your head, I can't give you the formula for this, but you have to find it out. If you combine those 2 advices and click it in your head, then you should be good on making it shoot from the tip's gun. And I think that was one of the hardest parts of the project. Modify the key down handler to call this shoot method when the spacebar is pressed. So really, that's the simplest thing of missiles anyway. All you have to do is just call ship.shoot. And number 3, make sure that the missile sound is passed to the sprite constructor so that you will get the shooting sound whenever you shoot a missile. That's actually pretty easy because in the sprite it's already if sound, play sound, so it's already built in for you. And that's basically it. Phase 4, I don't even have to say anything. We learned that so many weeks ago that it should be just natural to build that. And congratulations, that's the whole entire spaceship project, and I hope that my step-by-step instructions helped you. And if it did, and it made the whole project, feel free to comment and tell me how it did. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, and last note, don't forget to vote in Coursera. End of the playoffs.